Ladies and gents of the YouTube, welcome back. So, I've been asked to make this video several times, and I've been slacking. But about a year ago, we made the big investment and got a Vapor Honing Technologies Vapor Blaster, Vapor Honer, Wet Blaster. There's tons of different names for these things. Call it whatever you want, but I call it vapor blasting. We have a motorcycle shop here. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe while you're here. But we work on mainly vintage motorcycles, some modern stuff, but mainly vintage. And this has been a big asset to our business, and it's opened up a different avenue because we also offer just vapor blasting, hence the part that's in my hand. This is a rear differential for a 1937 BMW, I think an R12, I can't remember the model now, of course. But the customer brought us this just to blast. We're not working on the motorcycle, he's restoring it himself, but we'll blast it for him because that's what we do. We do a ton of carb work here, so I do a lot of carburetor blasting in this thing, and it's really been, like I said, an asset. It is a lot more work than you might think on the surface because, especially with carburetors, they have to be fully disassembled to blast them. This is just a display piece that we made to show you, an old nasty carburetor that was sitting outside, and then we blasted it just to make it look good. But for a customer, this carburetor would have to be fully disassembled for us to, for it to work right when you put it back together, because glass and water gets in everywhere, so in all your linkages and all that stuff, have to take it apart. It's a big deal, but it works really good, and for restoration stuff, you're taking it all the way apart anyways. We offer, for just blasting, I prefer if the customers fully disassemble their parts when they bring them to us. It saves them a ton of money because time is money, and if we have to disassemble the parts, obviously we have to charge the customer for it. So it just is what it is. That's why I have disassembled rates and then bring it to the assembled, and I'll let you know how much it costs later rates. And unfortunately, that's just the way she goes. As far as these things go, they are a big investment financially. And the company that I got this from, they have models starting at a benchtop version that is like $800, $900, something like that. That's mainly just for single carburetors. It's not much room, and you have to deal with the water and all that stuff. They also make two versions of their machines called an open and a closed loop, and that's kind of a universal thing throughout the whole industry, whether it's a opened or closed loop. I chose to get the closed loop system because we're doing this more on a commercial application where we're using the thing a lot. I try to use it as much as we can, at least a few hours a day. So it saves on water and material and all that, because that cost really adds up. The media cost is something that you obviously have to think about because it needs to be changed out regularly as well. So that is another thing that goes along with owning one of these machines. Another thing that you have to think about if you're thinking about investing in one of these machines is your air. You need a big compressor to run these machines. Minimum wise, I think they say 20 CFM and then at 100 PSI. I chose to go with the Ingersoll Rand compressor. It has the SP5 pump on it with a 60-gallon tank. The 60-gallon tank apparently is a better setup because of the CFM than the 80-gallon. I went with what the manufacturer recommended, and basically the cheapest option that I could get, and it was still $1,000. Plus you have to plumb everything in and all that. So, like I said, cost-wise, these things are a pretty big investment at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm gonna blast this part, and I'm gonna show you guys kind of like what it'll look like when it's done. Let's get a good couple before shots here. Obviously it's from 1937, so she's got some age to her. But we're gonna make this thing look brand new ski again. And yeah, and in the meantime, I'll think of other stuff that I should probably review after a year of owning a vapor blaster. So real quick, like I was saying, I went with the Ingersoll Rand This is the bad boy here. It comes on a pallet, so we just built a box around the pallet, got some venting, and I normally just keep the door open when we're running it anyways. We're down by the river here, so we normally get some nice little breeze and it stays cool back here. All right, so let's get started. Over here is just the controls. I control the pumps and all that good stuff. The little wiper, and it's got a little sprayer, and you can adjust the time and all that stuff for how much it sprays. But you can see it already starting to work. This thing goes pretty quick. Some of the gasket surfaces take a little bit longer, but the finish is worth it. All right, guys. Well, this part from the 1937, I feel like came out really good. She looks brand new-ski, and this is exactly why you buy a Vapor Blaster, for stuff like this. The customer is restoring the bike, and if you're looking for brand new or better, this is how to achieve it. So I guess back to the review of owning one of these things and some of the questions that I get. A big question that I get a lot is, yeah, I'm thinking about buying one and starting a vapor blasting business. Now, I didn't go into it with that in mind, and I'm glad that I didn't, because I'd be disappointed. This machine is a great asset to our existing business, but if I was just trying to make a living vapor blasting, I don't think it would work out too well, honestly. And that doesn't mean that it won't work out for you and in your area. Location is huge. I'm in the Santa Cruz Mountains, very close to Santa Cruz, which is a bigger town, city, whatever, beach town. But as far as people looking for vapor blasting, looking for that kind of work, I just don't see the giant demand. In fact, I get people from far away sending me stuff almost as much as local work. Or we use it probably 50-50 with service jobs. So it's a great addition to my business, but I would never buy it and just try to make a living vapor blasting. It would be insanely hard to actually make a living. Now, there are some guys that are in like the metal finishing business and their whole shop is dedicated to it. I'm sure that's a great addition to their shop, but I don't know anybody who is just solely vapor blasting and that's all that they do. Of course, I'm sure there's going to be somebody, but you better have a huge metropolitan area close by, and then also be doing industrial stuff like brass for the fire department. I've seen people online do all kinds of different applications. For our business, being motorcycles and even automotive parts, because I will do aluminum heads for somebody if they want them done, or any car parts. It's like I said, great addition, but it's not our sole source of income, thank goodness, because we would be eating bologna sandwiches every day. Well, maybe every other day. But yes. So if you have an existing business, these things can be a great addition and not so hard to swallow the startup cost. If you are a do-it-yourself weekend guy, they make cheaper options than this, and there's like 4 or 5 companies making vapor blasters now. The reason that I went with Vapor Honing Technologies, well, a couple reasons. For one, they kind of seem like the biggest player in the game. They're very innovative. They have come out with a ton of stuff. And like me, they have a YouTube channel. And that's, I think, how I first found them anyways, was on YouTube. And they have a lot of cool videos showing what it can do. Where they kind of lack is they don't have a lot of videos as far as how to set up and stuff like that. So in the future, I'm going to make more in-depth videos on how to actually use the machine, what some of the valves and stuff are in the back, This particular model, I believe they call the 3630 because of the dimensions. It's like extra big for its size or whatever. I bought it for that reason, and also it has some features that the more expensive machines have in the more compact setup with the wiper and then the closed loop and all that. If you're just doing it on the weekend kind of thing, there's guys that are building their own vapor blasters, and I've checked out a bunch of those. Looks good if you're maybe only using it for 1 or 2 hours a week. If you're going to be doing anything more than that, I would suggest buying one, not even a vapor honing technology one. That, like I said, there's like 4 other companies that make them. These guys don't pay me anything. I paid for my machine, so I'm not getting paid to say anything, we'll put it that way. You know, another thing is I've noticed with these, they seem to be better quality. A common upgrade with everybody's is everybody is changing the gun, the nozzle. There is a company called Tacoma, I believe, that makes a different nozzle that is supposed to be the bee's knees. So I'm going to order one and we're going to try it out. Supposedly it's going to increases your time and productivity. This piece right here, there is about an hour and a half to 2 hours of labor into this piece, easy. So if that can speed things up, I'm going to be all about it. I'm going to order one up probably next month, and I'll let you guys know. We'll make a video and do a little testing on it. That seems to be the #1 upgrade that people are doing, is the nozzle. There's not too much that goes into these machines, and it seems like you could probably build one yourself for $1,500 to $2,000. You know, a nice setup one like this. But I wasn't about to take on that venture because time is money, and I have motorcycles to fix. That's what I'm really good at. So that's what we did. Well, customer service wise, I should say, at Vapor Honing Technologies, they do have good customer service. I dealt with Nikki over there. She was super helpful. I've dealt with a couple other people over there too with just general questions on setup. They answer the phone, they do get back to you. When I ordered my machine, this was a brand new model. One of the reasons I ordered it is because they were offering free shipping at the time. And we are all the way in California, and they are all the way in like North Carolina. So I definitely was going to take advantage of that and not tell them where I lived until the end of our conversation. But that was a really good deal with the free shipping part, and they were very accommodating. The machine took, from the time that I ordered it till the time that I got here, was almost 2 months because a certain part with this model was on back order. They were really cool about it though. They stayed in contact with me, so I knew what was going on. I wasn't left in the dark like, hey, thanks for giving us money, see you later. No, they didn't do that. They were really good about it. So I do appreciate that. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot them in the comments. Like I said, we're gonna do some other videos as far as setup, different medias that you can run. I mainly use glass, but you can run aluminum oxide for different kind of finishes. We're mainly doing motorcycle parts, and I like stuff to look nice and pretty. So the glass works really well for this kind of polished, clean look. And then for actually polishing, it helps me tremendously skip a lot of steps. So for polishing aluminum, and I'll make another video about that, it speeds it up a lot. So lots of benefits to the old vapor blaster. Big addition to our business. If you'd like to have any parts vapor blasted, shoot me an email. I'll put my email in the description below. If you're not in our area, no big deal. People send us stuff, they box it up, send it to us. If it's smaller parts, the UPS flat rate boxes work really good. Carburetors, you know, we do carburetors starting at $50 for a disassembled carburetor, so it's not that expensive to have done. So yeah, get at us and let us know if you need anything done. As always, thanks for tuning in, and if you are new and you love old motorcycles and vapor blasting and all that good stuff, please subscribe while you're here. It helps out the program big time. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Happy Thanksgiving.